Now to Protecting Paradise, our commitment to raising awareness of environmental issues that affect your quality of life. They've called St. Lucie County home since 1937, and more than 80 years later, Adams Ranch outside Fort Pierce is doing its part to protect our environment. I went there recently to look at what a family bound to the land is doing to protect everything around it. Mike Adams greets another day.
We have a long history on this land.
On the ranch he has called home all of his life.
It's great to see the sunrise and sunsets out here because they are beautiful.
4 generations of Adams and counting have raised beef cattle on this 14,000-acre spread west of Fort Pierce.
So important for us to be good neighbors.
Protecting paradise here means keeping cow waste and fertilizer runoff, both triggers for algal blooms, from pouring into the watershed that feeds the St. Lucie River and local estuaries. What are we seeing here?
And this is part of our water control system here. We do have a series of canals through the ranch. And as you see, we have these structures in where we can raise and lower the water table.
The canals here, 15 to 20 miles worth, were largely dug in the 1950s.
And keeps the ground saturated, so we store billions of gallons of water just in the soil itself.
Water that nourishes pasture land and stays out of the watershed. Of course, it helps to limit fertilizer use to begin with.
We do use some fertilizer on our pastures, but at the same time, we're careful about what time of the year we put it on and what kind of rates we put it on at.
The Adams have about 2,100 mother cows here. They say they're careful not to overtax the land with livestock, and they bred the cattle over many years to be heat tolerant. That keeps cows from wandering into canals to cool off and dump their manure.
When the cow's out eating grass and she's happy on the pastures, it's a good place for us as cattle people. And it keeps our water clean.
And what makes good economic sense, this family says, makes good environmental sense too.
I said it's important for us to, be good neighbors to our city cousins, and because we all live here together and we need a healthy environment.
Lessons learned at Adams Ranch over generations of blood, sweat, toil, and pride put into the land and the water that sustains them and us. Mike Adams, the proud president of a big family enterprise. Mark Perry, meanwhile, who heads the Florida Oceanographic Society, says Adams Ranch is a good example for others to heed. He said, quote, they want to make sure the use of land and water is sustainable for the long term.
Wow, that was some beautiful photography. Really gave you a sense of old Florida, with the citrus farmers, the ranchers.
Old Florida with
new concerns of today.
Yeah, and the intersection of environment, economy, and how to protect our water, and knowing that we all have to do it together. So,
exactly.
Good example.
Weren't those amazing shots, Steve? I just love seeing that.
I love there's just two sides to where we live, isn't there?
There really is.
The coastal and the inland areas around the lake, just beautiful.